Okay guys, I'm coming at you with a review of Redemption Fingerboard's newest mold. I guess it's just called the Mellow mold. It's really about making a true to skateboarding shape, and I feel that they've really captured it. The nose is slightly high for my view of a skateboard, but that is a damn close representation. The shipping of this deck took 2 days, which is amazing. Packaged perfectly, bubble mailer, wrapped. The first impressions of this deck were that I thought it was going to be like my MMC, a flat shape that was kind of awkward to use because of how the concave was, and the fact that I'm not used to that mellow of a deck. Like, I'm used to a no comply T2, which is here, and my sponsor decks, which are Devise decks. And he even sent me a little mellower of a Devise deck, a 4-ply, and even that feels slightly awkward because it's a little bit more mellow. So I thought when I got this, it was just going to be like MMC, and I wasn't really going to like it. But after I set it up, I noticed a couple of things. The holes aren't 100% completely accurate. They are in line with the middle of the deck. That's perfect. But on the nose, it's perfectly straight. On the tail, instead of being completely straight down, it's slightly off, like crooked. But it's not off enough that it actually messes with the performance of the deck, which is perfectly fine with me. If I bought this deck, it would be, I wouldn't even mind. The tail's rounding is slightly flat, like it's slightly square, I should say, not flat. And that's mainly due to the fact that it's a 31mm wide deck by 101 long, if I'm not mistaken, which I don't mind too much. I actually prefer a little square of a kick. Gives me a little bit more scoop for trays. The nose isn't quite as perfect. It has a little bump right here, and it's just aesthetically not as pleasing. And like, if it was perfectly rounded, I wouldn't even mind. Like, that's a small problem for future decks. Like that can be fixed. Same with the truck alignment. And then after that, I didn't notice anything really until I started using it. And when I started using it, the first thing I noticed was that the pop was real low. Like, it just felt like it would only go like an inch high on most tricks. And I'm like, in my head it was more of like a confirmation of the MMC thought. But as I started using it, I noticed my tricks getting higher just naturally, which was a weird feeling because, like, most of the time, you know, decks will be up here performance-wise, and it's just a slow descent all the way down until the deck dies. But this was like, starts here and just was going up, and it's peaked. I think it's peaked. It's fully broken in. Fucking amazing deck. But, yeah, it's amazing. I have all my tricks. I didn't lose any tricks really other than switch and nollie big flips. But even that, as I got used to the shape, they came back. I mean, I'm not too consistent with them as is, but like, it was even worse. It was like I couldn't even flick it right. Either way, I was watching reviews as I was testing out this deck. And one thing that I didn't know until I saw a review is that Jordan put the pool concave in the decks so that there's concave on, you know, between the sides, but there's also concave this way and concave this way in the kick. And I feel that that really helps the performance of this deck. Like, it's so much better because of it. Like, I use flat decks a lot, like with the kicks, and I actually would prefer a slight bit of a pooling in the kicks. after using this deck. So Jordan, big ups for putting the pool concave. Really love that feature. The other thing that I noticed when I started using it was the lacquer. The lacquer is really good. Like you can see, that's fucking amazing lacquer. But if my camera was able to focus, there's a lot of scratches and indents in the actual lacquer itself, so that even if I were to take away this dirt that's right here, you'd see deep scratches, right? And most of those scratches came within the first day or so, which I was kind of disappointed in. I was like, God, this lacquer looks so good. And then within like the first full day of use, like not just having it for a day, but like actual use time of a day, it was like scratched like if I had had a deck for 2 weeks. Like I had this, I've had this deck for about a month, and it took about 2 weeks for the first scratches to start coming in, which is good. So that's why I was kind of disappointed in that. But all the flaws that I've noticed in this deck are all easy fixes. I'll say they're all real easy fixes. The alignment, that's just constant checking. Same with the nose hump, and the lacquer. You just add a little more lacquer and it's perfect. The holes, trucks went on fine. The only thing that I would ask for as a preference is make the nose 1 to 2 millimeters longer, and once again, that's preference, because I thought the short tail at first was a little, it messed with me a little bit, but as you get used to it, you just, you know, have to pop a little more vertically. But other than that, I would suggest this deck to anyone who wants a nice quality deck that you'll absolutely love, because this deck has surpassed everything that I ever thought it would be, because of the shape and what I'm used to and previous encounters with redemption decks. But I'm keeping this deck for a long time, because this is an amazing deck, like straight up. I thought, you know, this deck, you know, I might just send it back to Jordan after I'm done with it, because, you know, it's just a review deck. But I love this deck. I fucking love it. Thanks, Jordan. Thank you so much, dude. These are going to be on Jordan's site, which is redemptionfb.com. I believe they're being sold for $25. I don't know if that includes shipping or not, but that is a great price for what you're getting, because I've seen $25 decks that have nowhere near the craftsmanship and nowhere near the performance of this deck, and that saddens me. So seeing a deck like this really really makes me love where fingerboarding is going, because you're gonna get more companies like Jordan that care more about the fingerboarder's interests than, oh, who has the hottest new graphic, or, you know, whatever. Because this is an amazing deck. Jordan, keep on doing what you're doing. Support Redemption. Support No Comply. Wheels, which are on this deck. No Comply G2 Butters. Gotta have that case. Support Devise decks, which you can find them on Facebook. Look up Stefan Lundberg, Stefan Lundberg. Other than that, if you have FI, look up the same name, Stefan Lundberg. Devise decks, No Comply wheels, redemptionfb.com. Go get one. They're amazing.